This is one of the best trading vehicles out there. Airlines. We've seen that. We've seen that in the past. I look at the model and certainly a lot to like there. What I saw was, revenue, a small beat there on revenue, very handsome beat on the bottom line. Looks like fuel costs came in better than expected, but maybe the most controversial item out there is the buyback that they announced, $1.5 billion. That's the first since 2020. And already they're getting pushback, from some of the employees. The flight attendants union has come out pretty hard against this. And frankly, I kind of agree with them. Why are they buying back stock when they have $31 billion in bed? I think there's better uses for that cash.
Yeah, they said they would buy $1.5 billion worth of shares. As you noted, the first buyback since the pandemic. They'll begin doing that. They'll start that program. What do you think? Robbie, I'd like to hear more about your thoughts in the big picture and what you think about the buyback.
Well, the buyback may have been influenced by Southwest Airlines making a decision to do buybacks, also announcing that just a couple of weeks ago. They, of course, are under pressure from an activist investor, Elliott Investment Management. I'm not sure. I know it definitely got immediate pushback from the flight attendants union. So we'll see. It does represent the confidence that United has, I should say. United has pursued a pretty innovative strategy coming out of the pandemic, and it's including adding extra capacity in Europe, going past Delta, becoming the biggest airline flying to Europe from the U.S. Other strategies that have really paid off, and they're a confident company right now.
Mm-hmm. And that buyback was a previous program. They had just suspended it after what had happened in 2020, the pandemic. But in the meantime here, they see better than expected numbers going forward. Barron's has an article that says, say goodbye to cheap flights. Robbie, is that what we're going to have to do as consumers? We're going to get hit hard with some high prices?
I think we're going to see higher prices. There's been an inflection point already. Delta talked about this last week. United's talking about it, where over the summer there was a lot of extra industry capacity. It was up about 6% year over year. Now it's up in this quarter, just going to be about 1.6%, I think. And most of that capacity is from the higher end airlines, the full service carriers. We've seen big cuts in capacity from the discounters. So as the discounters are changing their models, trying to find ways to appeal to higher end travelers, it's taking a lot of that discount inventory out of the market. So it is going to be harder to find deals, I think.
David, I looked and I saw United Airlines leading the S&P 500, Delta, American Airlines also in the top 5 or 10 the stocks on the S&P today. Do you like the group overall? Do you buy these names? I mean, Southwest has been in this big transition, of course. What do you think about this group?
They're very dependent on the economy, and I think they're great trades. They're always cheap, and they're cheap for a reason. But there's a lot of things they can't control. They can't control fuel costs, and they certainly can't control the economy. My biggest problem with them is things like this buyback. These are the mistakes they make every single decade. They were buying back stock right up until 2001 when we had the 9/11. Same thing with COVID. And then when they come out of these horrific events, and they do happen, they have nothing in the piggy bank to get out of it, and they have to come back to the American taxpayer to bail them out. We've seen this time and time again, and I suspect it will happen at some point in the future.